Good evening, everybody. It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and this time you have two people from across the shuck, and the person on the other side of the shuck is Dan. And Dan and Justin are two people I met through this wonderful hobby of knife collecting. Nice. So I'm going to start with you see that really good-looking one on that man top he has on there. This is Dan, and I met Dan through Instagram, and he's a sack seller. That doesn't sound good. He sells Swiss Army knives and other old American type knives. In fact, he sells a wide variety, but that would be his main two. And I met him by buying knives off him. His service is absolutely, you know, I put him on my channel. He's not strange. If you're on my channel, you know who Dan is, because I talk to him because he makes me buy far too many knives. And his service is genuinely excellent. And if there is anything wrong, I know it'll be fixed. And I know if one of you's bought it, I'd be comfortable knowing that if, and it's an if, something was wrong, he will rectify that. The other fella, to my right here, is Justin. Justin is the good living one and the handsomely well-dressed fella in our group. And I met him through YouTube. He answered a few of my, or he replied to a couple of my videos on YouTube. We got talking, and it wasn't straight away. It was a while before we realised, oh, we live in the same town. And I'd been looking for years for somebody that I could capture in the same town. But I met Justin, and they've both become really good friends. We talk every week, numerous amount of times sometimes, but we've just become friends, and we're enjoying this friendship, and that's what it is. And hopefully with this new podcast, we'll invite some of the friends we've met along the way. We'll get them on, and we'll have different conversations. Most of it's not going to be fully scripted, but tonight we're going to talk about a sack knife, and this is one that Justin made together. By the way, while I'm on the subject, sorry, I should have had this out. This is Justin who, I'm up here. This is the Justin who made me my beautiful caramel tasting, because I lick it a lot, I love this. Beautiful sack knife he made for me. And this is another one he made for himself. And what do you call it, Justin?
It's a compact cyber tool, or a cyber tool compact. Cyber compact.
A cyber compact, he has called this. And it's a basic, not Spartan, is it? No, it's just a compact
and a cyber tool.
Sorry, don't know what I'm talking about. These two will carry this on. But it's a compact, and what he done was he added this cyber tool, which is it's either a T-bar of sorts and a screwdriver, and in the inside here you have, I don't know where you can see that, I'll put my hand behind that, there you go. You can see a little row of different screwdrivers, hex bits. You can choose these. I'm sure you can buy these anywhere really. Yeah. But what a fantastic knife. It's got the two blades, and it also has a pair of scissors. And what we were talking about sort of a bit beforehand, and Dan made a point of what he thinks of sack knives. And I thought what he said was really insightful, because it's what we should be. These are not little toys to collect. They're actually work tools. And if that's what you were saying, Dan, and that's what you think of sacks as a work tool that you use every day.
My personal view on the sacks is that they should be used, and to a sense abused, because it's not something that. They're very, very reasonably priced. They're very strong. They're very well engineered. They're extremely stainless. They're everything that a tool should be. They are such a good work tool, because you can do every single day task with them, whether that's just around the house, maybe tightening up a loose door lock, or a hinge that comes loose. You can pop the cap lifter up halfway, and then you've got your torque, and I've got nothing in my hands, and just give it a half. I should really get a sack. This is bad.
By the way, I must add, in Dan's house, he probably has about 1,000 sacks. He probably has. There's bags everywhere. One night, me and Justin had him put them all out over the floor so we could see just what he had, and it was just sick.
It was the funniest thing.
As the kids
would
say.
Oh yeah, it's gross instead. It's embarrassing now. Anyway, so just from the smallest of jobs all the way to like always working on engines and stuff like that, and small things and larger projects. And as I was saying to the guys, I was working on some motorcycles the other day, and to cut a long story short, I used one sack to strip the carburetor, set the carburetor up, rebuild it, put it in, and adjust all the air screws on it with just a tinker. And it's amazing what they can do. And then I can take that to the pub or take that to a barbecue, lift the cap off of a bottle, open a bottle of wine, and cut my steak with the same knife that I just basically done engine surgery with. So
Might taste as good as normal, but
Hopefully
you've ever had a
first.
knife.
we should add publicly that we don't recommend this for the public to do this.
If anyone has ever had a knife off me, I'm a bit guilty. They will be probably caked in oil because they're always cleaned thoroughly and then oiled at the joints and the blades. And a thin film of oil on any knife is always a good idea. You know, and it also helps you when you go to wipe that knife. All that oil will take all the dirt off with it. If you're wiping a knife dry, it's doing nothing. If you've got a little film of oil around it and you give it a wipe, that takes all the everything with it. So I always try and keep it. No, I'm not talking cake. It's just a very small film of oil on that. But at the end of the day, you know, when you've used it, wash it under the tap. Do what you need to do with it. And I just put a little 3-in-1 or WD, whatever that is, and that I really find that makes a big difference to the next time you use it or wipe it, because it's instantly clean again. I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't do it if I was cutting into steak. Well, I would for Stephen, obviously, but yeah.
I mean, that is oiling any knife, and especially carbon knives in my collection is mostly traditional knives, carbon, a little thin coat. Now, I don't maybe do it as often. Our humidity isn't great here. I mean, I very rarely get a bit of rust spot on my knives. I don't over oil them. I'll put a layer on it and it might do me for 6 months before I'll do it again. And I haven't had any problem, but where you live is obviously going to change and how often you keep up with the oil. What would you say? I use mineral oil. What would you use to oil your knives?
It's mineral oil all the time, and I just use the wee Victorinox bottles because I mean all you need is a drop.
This is another one I use. This is KPL. I'm doing a bit of a plug here because I'm going to call KPL out. If anybody knows them, or not knows them, but talks to them, I might actually ring the fella myself. I know it. But I really recommend KPL. It's an all-round oil that you can put on any knives, and I'm starting to find out now that even sack users like other type of knives, and it smells nice, which is a bonus. It genuinely does smell, and he actually built that into when he was making this fusion here for the oil. He put something in it that made it smell nice, which is fantastic. So I'm going to see. I'll give them a little ring and see if he give me some prizes that we could give out to people on the live show of just oils for people who are starting, and I'll see if I can get him to do that. I'm sure he will. He's a very nice fella, but I've just thought I'd throw that in.
I can't get over that, Dan. I mean, so that your knives smell nice.
Hey.
No, I want to weigh in, and I actually think that for the likes of what you're using it for and that oil, I think that'll be absolutely perfect for everyone to have that little. I mean, I buy mine in a gallon, and it lasts me not very long because I use it
just
because I sharpen a variety of tools, and I repair a lot of horticultural, agricultural tools as well as knives and stuff. So for me, I use a lot of oils, and I just use what I prefer on my own sacks. But a food safe mineral oil is absolutely perfect for what you want to be doing. Like that little bottle, that is perfect. It
actually comes with a great little nozzle on it. It's got
a little spout.
It's got a great little. Okay, I'm going to put my hand up.
Oh, that is.
Perfect.
It's a real needle nozzle. You can get it in all around your knife.
That is good.
So, Justin,
My turn.
what is your relationship with sack knives?
I started collecting sack knives about 3 years ago, maybe. I got my first sack knife, I think, in 1989. It was a Handyman, and it went everywhere with me on all my travels and everything like that. And then I came back to it and found it again in a box somewhere a number of years ago. Then got another one, and then made the mistake of signing up to the Multi-Tool Forum. I don't know if anybody's ever gone on to the Multi-Tool Forum, but it is a black hole for knife addicts, and it is full of the most wonderful people who are terrible enablers.
Him.
I mean, like these two, really. You know, I mean, if you have ever wanted to stop collecting knives, these two are the worst people to know.
We would probably be the worst three you'd ever want.
But I started out with maybe three. I started out with a handyman, a tinker, and a midnight manager, and I thought they were the perfect selection of knives. And that was probably February 2020.
Were you a pandemic? So
Yes.
It was the pandemic that set that off.
I was a COVID collector, absolutely. And now I have, after 2 years, I've got something remaining in my collection of sacks alone, about 60, 70 Swiss Army knives. Now I had up to 90, but I sold some of them. So you sort of start paring your collection back to what you want. But the best thing about collecting Swiss Army knives was that I started taking them apart and playing around with modding them. So I started making my own, and that has been the most fun journey.
I have to say,
and I even occasionally get to gift them to people.
That's one of my prized possessions. Will never go anywhere. I was actually carrying it today, and Justin will attest to that. That's what I carried. I'm actually up at home today. Where do you see your collection going? Because you were just, well, both of you. You can both answer this. Where do you see your collection going? Because I've noticed you're starting to get interested a wee bit more in locking knives, in more traditional knives. You're not so much locking knives, but you're definitely getting into locking knives, and you're getting into traditionals. Do you see that sort of evolving?
Justin, that needs to stop, because I don't do many locking knives. Don't get into locking knives. It's a bad habit.
Don't worry. The locking knife. Well, because of where we are, I think you're limited by what you can carry anyway. I mean, locking knives where we are, you can only have them in the house anyway, so it kind of defeats the purpose, no matter how nice they are. And I mean, I went down a short rabbit hole visitation of some of the knives that you can get from China, like the Ganzos and the Sanrenmus and bits and pieces, and some of them are absolutely fantastic knives. I've got about a dozen lockers from over the place. I've got a few Spydercos. And they're lovely to have, they're lovely to play around with, but you can't take them anywhere. And I mean, actually,
it's like having an ugly child.
My favourite one that I got recently was the Baby Banter.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have to say, I just couldn't resist it. It's a Civivi, it's a wee tiny fifth pocket knife, and it is just gorgeous.
But you get a full 4-finger grip on this wee knife. It's about a 2-inch blade, just for those who are listening in silence.
And I'm a big fan of the Spyderco Dragonfly, and this just seems like a nice.
I've never had a Dragonfly.
You've got a ladybug or a man bug.
Yeah, I had it now. It's gone now. Right. I got rid of it. Yeah, we were talking about dragonflies there, and another another avenue I know Justin's going down is traditional knives. And like me, because we're from the UK, we love buying and promoting British buyers. So Justin has a knife that I just want to show you and let him talk about it, because it is the sexiest knife that I have.
I can only blame his nibs here for what has happened with this, because I had no idea. I was quite happy with my Swiss Army knife affliction, and then he got me looking at traditional folders, and I mean, I just started drooling over them. This is an Ashley Harrison. It's one of his one-offs that he does. He seems to do for practice or as custom orders. Stephen's got a beautiful. I mean, everybody who watches his channel has seen that beautiful blue boned one. This was one that came up, and I just sort of was the first at his door, at Ashley's door, to get it. It's an abalone, brass capped and bolstered clip point, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
The abalone, I can tell you, is the nicest I've ever seen. And I'm talking, now I haven't seen a whole lot of GEC ones, but the ones I've seen, this beats them. It is beautiful. And I've ordered one of these on the back of Justin getting it. I was sending him a sarky text yesterday, where's mine?
Yeah.
Because it's just beautiful. So
I feel sorry for Ashley, actually, because I've been plaguing him for ages for another one. I've got 3 of his knives now, and I'm waiting for a 4th. And
well, I think what we should do is just, if we all just keep emailing him from different email addresses.
I've stopped because I feel bad about it. I mean, come on, give the guy a break. He works his absolute you know, butt off, and it's
I rang his dad up the other day and told him to go and tell him off. They still got no reply.
That is brilliant.
And that's the joy of custom makers. You just have to work away and find a way to become friendly with them, and respect their time, because they can't do them. It's not like ringing up Heine Haynes and saying, I want that. You just don't get it like that. And just be respectful and wait your turn. But I've always told people on the channel, and this is where me and Justin sort of started to hit it off, is you just have to go onto their Instagrams, just like Dan's Instagram when he's selling his knives. You just go on daily if you can and see if he's got one up for sale that day. And if you hit it right, you'll get it, because if you're the first one in, he sells it to the first one in.
No. I'm going to let you into a little secret here, and I know this is certainly true for me and other sellers. We will have stuff that is not on Instagram, or will be brought in, and it will be open to a select few. And it is what it is. You're not every seller or every dealer will have stuff that will just send to a group of 10 people, and people won't even know they exist, because I know other dealers do it. They'll get like 10 really nice knives in, and they'll just show their, I'd say group, but I don't know if that's the right word. They're every sort of. I know it's true with the car dealers and stuff like that as well. If they get a nice second-hand, there's a circle almost of trusted sort of people in that group. They would show.
You're in the circle.
No, you're not.
I'll not be.
But Justin is. But Stephen, I'm sorry, mate.
No.
Just is what it is.
Do you think Tom Cruise is going to put me in that circle?
But as an addition to that, though, Dan, I mean, you would sometimes go looking as well.
Yes, of course.
If somebody has a notion, because remember I just mentioned that's the wee PTC, the pocket tool chest, the Wenger that I've been looking for years, and just by chance you were keeping your eye open for it, and it turned up in one of your boxes, which was fantastic.
Yeah. And it was about 2 days after you mentioned it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a weird coincidence, but yeah, it's always good to know that.
And I think that's why I really want more UK, knife lovers. And it doesn't matter what knife you love, because I like all knives. I genuinely love all knives. If it's a £10 scrapper, but it's what I want, I'm as happy with that as I am with a top of the range GEC. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me what it is. If it's nice and I like it, it comes. Where can we find you, Dan?
So Instagram, Facebook is Blade Bridge Limited. One word, Blade Bridge, and then LTD at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
And then for service work and pictures, so of like if you want something repaired, sharpened, cleaning, stuff like this, restoring, it's the website, which is bladebridge.co.uk. So very simple.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's.
Well, look, boys. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, for anything decent, try and find another website.
Look, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. This has been more natural than I thought it was going to. I thought we'd have to act out or something to make it polished, but to me this is perfect. Three fellas having a chat, and that's what it's going to go every week. If we've got something to talk about, we'll bring it to the chat, but we're not going to plan too heavily unless you, and this is where you can come in. Down below, is there any sack knives you want to see? Is there any traditional knives you want to see? Please, down below, let us know what you think of this format. And don't worry, if you want to be harsh, be harsh. We're not that easy upset. Well, Dan's gone. He's definitely very easy upset. But
very easy, yeah.
But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you the next time from across the shop. Take care now. Bye-bye. Bye.